Hello, everybody, and welcome along to Below the 38th, podcast 8, as we preview the K League 2 2026 season, weekend 3. I'm Andrew, and for the first time ever on our podcast, we have two people standing in the same position at the same time, as opposed to the wonders of technology. Wearing his Ansan jersey today, we have Mike. Hello.
How's everyone doing?
Is that the New Jersey?
No, this is about 6 years old.
Oh, 6 years old. Yeah, he's got a lot of jerseys. I only have a few jerseys. Who's on the back of it?
Ian J.
Ian J. Let us know if you know who he is in the comment section. So you can find us at Below the 38 on Twitter, Instagram, and of course you're on YouTube. And if you kind of scroll down on YouTube, you'll see the video that Mike, I, and Luke did reviewing the most recent action in K League 1 and K League 2. That went out on Tuesday or Wednesday. And then earlier on today, which is Thursday, a video went up with Luke and I previewing weekend 3 of the K League 1 season. You'll also find this video that I made on visiting the Anyang Stadium, and I'd like to think that we'll be doing more of those this year. It's kind of time consuming, but it is a lot of fun. So hopefully you'll be able to see us making videos of the Blooming Stadium, Ansan Stadium, and a bunch of other stadiums in the country. You went to 3 games at the weekend.
Indeed, yeah.
This is a K League 2 podcast. How many of those were K League 2 games? One.
Just the one.
Just the one. Okay. And that was Ansan against Busan.
Yes.
That was Ansan against Busan. Yeah.
I should remember that.
yeah. So obviously Mike went into the weekend knowing that Ansan were top of the table, but they're not top of the table anymore. But they potentially they could return to the top of the table after the upcoming round of fixtures. So what we're going to do now is, instead of just going through all the fixtures, because there are 17 teams and obviously one team has a bye week every week, we're just going to talk about a couple of the games that we're looking forward to seeing the most. So I'll let you go first. What game are you looking forward to seeing the most out of the 2? We're picking 2.
That's all down to
Okay.
you. But certainly
2 games.
the standout tie, I think, of the entire weekend's round is going to be Seoul Eland against Busan. And that's because Seoul Eland, one of the outside favourites for promotion, but they were defeated against arguably the favourites to go straight up, Suwon Blue Wings. But they'll be hosting Busan, who have picked up 4 points from the first 2. So if Busan can get even a result against Eland, it'll be a massive for them and really outline them as playoff contenders. If Eland fail to win, it will probably knock Eland out of the running, given how well the top 3 are currently doing.
Oh, it's a brave call. Yeah, I've a sneaky suspicion that Seoul Eland are going to be really good this season. I think they're going to go up automatically.
They've got to lay this out right now, though. They've got to win this weekend.
Okay, yeah. And also, like, going in their favour, the manager is this guy called Kim Do-gyun, who was the Suwon FC manager when they beat Busan I-Park in the promotion relegation playoff in 2023, and since then his Seoul Eland team has had something of a, I don't know how you call it, like they've dominated that Busan fixture since he took over as Eland manager. So I always find that like a slightly interesting subplot too. So Seoul Eland versus Busan, that's in Mokdong.
I believe so.
Yeah, in Mokdong Stadium. And you're going for a prediction?
A prediction there, I think I'm going to go for... I think Eland will win. The reason I picked that fixture out is if Busan get a result, though, it's going to be massive, and they've got the potential to do so, given how the season's gone so far.
Busan's first game was against Songnam, and I tried to watch that on the TV here, but it wasn't a game of football. It was something entirely different because the wind was so awful and the rain was so often that at one point the dugout blew over, and then all the advertisement hoardings behind one of the goals blew over as well. They somehow managed to play out a 0-0 draw,
Nice.
despite all of that. So Busan, I always think that Busan kind of flattered to deceive, but you're right. Like if they do win that game, that'll be like a statement win. I think Eland are going. Something tells me Eland they're going to be good this season.
Now, I've been to more than one game in the K League, which has had emergency sandbags to keep the hoardings stood up.
Right, yeah.
So something to look out for.
Yeah, that would have been, and that was on a holiday too. People losing their bank holiday Monday to get drowned out and winded out like that. I'm going to go for, it sounds a little bit obvious, but I'm going to go for the Blue Wings game against Jeonnan as one of the games to look out for. Jeonnam won 4-1 in their season opener against Gyeongnam away, aided by a red card. And what John tend to do is they start well every season and then they fall apart at the end. And they fell apart spectacularly at the end last season when they were in the playoff spots up until the last weekend of the season. They lost in Asan and they dropped out, and Songnan made it into the top 5. So when they won that first game, we're kind of thinking this could be the same thing again. And then they went to Daegu in round 2 and they took a 2-1 lead early into the second half and lost 4-2. And it just feels like it's the same old for John. But because they're able to get themselves into promotion spots and title contending spots early every season, it wouldn't surprise me if they just went to Big Bird on Saturday and won, but then fell apart, as we tend to see as the season goes along. The Blue Wings are 2 from 2. They've only conceded 1 goal, which is a miracle given what we've seen the last number of seasons. But they haven't been overly impressive. A 1-0 win away to Paju. Valdivia should be playing, the captain, the Jesus of Guanyang, as they call him now in the Korean media. So him alone is worth the ticket price to go and watch that game. But the Blue Wings win that game, then they go 3 for 3 at the top of the table, and they've had a better start than they could have imagined, and they've a better start than they've had in any of their previous 2 seasons at K-League 2. So it's a huge game for an expensive project.
What's interesting is we could be speaking a year ago and you would have said exactly the same thing about the Blue Wings.
Yeah, the thing is, they won in Ansan in week 1, and then they didn't win any of their next 3 games. So it felt like it was already, the title is done. But if they win today, if they win on Saturday, against John and Dragons, then yeah, it's just 3 from 3 is like a start that they haven't had for a very, very long time. Another game you want to talk about?
Well, there is another big clash, and it's Cheongju against Gyeongnam. Both sides have not started well. Only Cheongju have a point between both teams, and with the jeopardy of relegation, actually it's a talking point now at the bottom of the table. So if there's a loser in that game, they've got a very long season ahead of them, and quite a nervous looking season as well.
I expected Cheongju to do well this season. Maybe it's like 2 games in, but they recruited pretty well. We're kind of waiting to see if this guy, Finley Welch, there's a lot of expectations on this guy because he came out of the
championship.
Yeah, the Norwich youth team. But I think they gave him number 10 as well. Like, they obviously like the look of him. He started on the bench. He's played. He's got some minutes under his belt. I expected a little bit more from Jeonbuk Cheongju this season, but again, we're only 2 games into it. I don't think they're going to be in relegation trouble, but
again, just like the Elan game I mentioned before, this is not supposed to be in relegation trouble, but if they're not, they've got to win this game, and obviously Gyeongnam will be looking to thwart that.
Yeah, Gyeongnam were a big disappointment, aren't they? Like a former K-League 1 stalwart, and now they're cannon fodder for a lot of K-League 2 teams now. I also think the Yongin Suwon FC game is a good one, just because Impact both ends of the table. Gimhae against Suwon FC. Gimhae are struggling already, as you'd imagine. They got spanked by Ansan Greeners on the opening weekend, and now they host Suwon FC, who've scored more goals than anybody else in K-League 1 so far, or K-League 2 so far, which is not unusual. They tend to score a lot of goals, and they avoided relegation in 2023 because of the goal scored rule in Korea, finishing level on points with the Blue Wings, but they manipulated their way back into K-League 1. I could see them scoring a hatful of goals here again. They already have 7 so far, and that's 2 games in. So I think we're looking at a big win for Suwon FC. One thing I do admire about Suwon FC is they're a small club with a small budget, but they seem to find ways to replace players. Pablo Sabag is gone, and you'd almost forget that he was there last season. The recruitment is top notch in Suwon,
and they're already looking like the most likely title winners at the moment. As they would say, there's only one Suwon.
The Blue Wings had a banner before the first game that said Suwon Ekot, like the flower of Suwon. It's like, from what we've seen the last couple of years, it's you could probably debate that.
It's certainly wilted. Anyway.
You could certainly debate that. So they're the big fixtures we're looking for. That's 4 out of the matches that are coming up this weekend. What impact that will have on the table remains to be seen. Daegu, who are also 2 from 2, top of the table with the 2 Suwon clubs, they have a road trip to Asan this weekend. It's not going to be particularly easy, but again, if they want to win K-League 2 this season, they should probably be winning that game.
I'd say that would be a surprise draw, frankly speaking. I think they might come unstuck somewhat against Asan, but obviously, we'll see.
In the Isunshin Stadium. Have you been?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you've been a few times because I guess that used to be the police team.
But I didn't go there for the police team. It was in Ansan.
That's again, yeah.
There's a distinct lack of Isunshin stuff at the Isunshin Stadium, which is disappointing. I think that it needs a remodeling to really make the most of the name they've got there. So I'll also be at Ansan, which will be a regular fixture this season. Last season it was a nightmare. However, this season Ansan have played exceptionally well in both games, but just couldn't find their shooting boots and were undone quite spectacularly against Busan last weekend. This weekend they're hosting Paju. Paju need to really get a win to really show they belong here in the K2 after coming up from the K3. However, Ansan really need to make the most of the potential they've got here, and I'm really hoping, and I would never have said this for the past 4 or 5 years, 6 points from the opening 3 should be a minimum expectation.
Yeah, I think there's going to be like a city day of celebration on Monday. The schools and the banks will close if Ansan have 6 points after the first 3 games. They should win. Paju were competitive against the Blue Wings. They lost 1-0. Wasn't really a 1-0 game, but they still only lost 1-0.
You were talking about K League 2 fodder that were once great K1 teams. So.
Yeah. Anyway, moving swiftly on. So I might go to that game too. We're about to find out. I might have a spot available on Sunday. If I do, I can give the neutral view of the Ansan Greeners revolution in the 2026 season. There's another talking point I wanted to bring up before we wrap this one up for this week. I saw this comment on FM Korea. I didn't make it up myself, but I thought it was relevant for our podcast too. It's an easier conversation to have with you than to have with Mike, because to have with Luke, because Luke's team Incheon are up in K-League 1. And if anybody's listening to this and they have a team maybe in K-League 2 or the bottom end of K-League 1, you have a choice at the start of the season between winning K-League 2 or winning the Korea Cup. Now, winning K-League 2 obviously comes with a trophy and comes with promotion to K-League 1. Winning the Korea Cup comes with a trophy and ACL qualification. You have a choice.
For me, it's an easy one. Korea Cup all the way. The run to the final, everything is a kind of magic that you just can't get from the second division. In fact, I'd say most K1 teams don't even experience that level of enjoyment that they could get out of a good cup run. And of course, to see your team at least play some games abroad is it's just unthinkable as a K2 team.
John of Dragons did it. John of Dragons won the cup.
Yeah, they did indeed.
Yeah, I think it was during COVID, but it was rare. Yeah,
it is rare. But again, it's just fantastic. That's what you go to football for. You go there for the memories. Winning the K2, I mean, there's already a K2 title in the WA Stadium, which I will continue to bring up in perpetuity. However, going up to the K1 as Ansan, it'd be great, etc. But again, it'd be a mixture of it'd be heavy defeats and a lot of disappointment. It'd be nice, but I'd rather have a cup and a trip to Osaka or something lined up.
I thought you were going to say Shanghai Port, because don't Ansan have a good record against Shanghai Port?
Exactly, 100% record of our pre-season destruction of Champions League side Shanghai Port.
Yeah, you never know. The problem with the FA Cup now, the Grey Cup over here, is that it doesn't follow the same schedule as K-League 1 and K-League 2. It's now a September to May schedule, so we should have had a round of fixtures just gone by, but we don't, and we have to wait till September before it starts again. I would rather take K-League 2 promotion, not even the trophy. You might hear a baby crying in the background. I'd rather take just K-League 2 promotion, just to get out of this, to get out of Paju, Gimhae, Cheonan, Cheongnam Asan, Cheongju, Hwasun, Yongin. No offense to those clubs, but I think most football fans want to go to Jeonju, Pohang, Seoul, Incheon, Gwangju, Jeju. So hopefully Jeju get relegated then.
Right.
That was sort
It
that
happened
out.
once, and then COVID blocked away games.
Yeah.
But we did Jeonju last season. It was nice, but
Yeah, you took them to extra time as well. The weather's getting better now, which is obviously something that's important when you watch football over here, because Luke and I talked about this on the other podcast, just about, oh no, I think the three of us did, yeah, in our weekend one, playing football in the winter. The temperatures now in Korea at this point, they don't really dip below double figures as a high. Like every temperature is like sort of 13 to 14 degrees throughout the day. 2 o'clock game on Saturday for me, 4:30 for you on Sunday.
No, it's at 2 o'clock on Sunday.
Oh, it is it? Oh, so they're best time of the day. Best time of the day. We're going to be watching football this weekend, and that's all you want.
Oh, 3 points.
That's 3 points too, yeah. Against Team like Badju. Anyway, so that's he's Mike, I'm Andrew. That's us done for this week. We'd like to do more of these collaboration type videos, or like we get together in the same room. It's not always possible. But thanks for watching at Below the 38.
And we'll let you know next week if Barcelona do in fact visit the WA Stadium this weekend.
Oh yeah. Oh, photos. Photos. Yeah. If you don't know what he's talking about, a simple Google search will fix that one.
Or tune in next week.
Tune in next week. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Take care.